What's up, gamers? Welcome back to Erico Blueberry. It's an unassuming Destiny podcast. My name is chillybin.
It's a whole Meckii.
Yes, it is. We are now in the final week of this year's Guardian Games festivities, I guess. The tournament of champions. The bright lights, they are a shining, and everything is pointing towards warlocks.
Yes.
It's also the last week of the season, so it's a very exciting time to be cramming all of those last minute activities in, realizing that you should have done certain things weeks ago, and instead you were playing Tunic. Ding, 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 it's me.
I was going to say, fuck assing around for an entire season, and then in the last 2 days realizing you got shit to do. Sounds like the Meckii experience.
Yeah. But we'll get to all of that, I think, sort of towards the end of the show. There's a bit of stuff in the TWAB, I think, that is worth covering because, and I'm kind of glad about this, nothing about the upcoming season. No big technical detail updates, no weapon scalar damage, zoom percentage bullshit kind of update. It is just, let's talk about events like Guardian Games, which we're currently in. That's the cat. She's in the box because she was desexed this week and she does not like it. Yes, you're on the show now. Thank you for contributing. So yes, this TWAB, very events focused. Seasonal events. I don't know how else you want to think about it. There's 4 of them a year. We've got Guardian Games we're going through right now. Festival of the Lost, the Dawning, and then
Solstice.
What was Solstice of Heroes, which is now just going to be Solstice.
I think everyone I know when they referred to that event called it Solstice anyway.
Yeah.
Like it was shortened by the community anyway.
We're all heroes. You don't need to. Yes, I know. We are all heroes. Thank you, Kat. We don't need to keep saying that. It's just let's go do some Solstice. So yeah, Solstice is getting a little bit of a change. They mentioned something about changes to the European, the aerial zone.
Yeah.
They're changing parts of how the actual event thing works, which I'm kind of glad about because they've done a couple of them without really changing the EAZ stuff.
They're adding a mode, or are they changing the mode to be that mode? I can't remember.
I think,
something about bonfires.
I think they're changing it to just be different instead of adding a new thing on top of the way the EAZ has worked. I haven't taken notes down about what they're changing it to. I'm just glad they're changing it. When is Solstice? It's usually like beginning of the year. Like we had it already this year, right? No, that was Moments of Triumph.
Moments.
I don't know. Are they the same thing? I don't remember. It just comes around at some point. I'm guessing it's to do with the summer solstice, which in America is like middle of the year. Yes?
Last one was July to August.
Okay, there. So it's coming up. It's the next
couple of months. Yeah. So I was going to say it goes Games, Solstice, Festival,
Dawning.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll find out
Halloween,
this season coming up. We will see a new Solstice. They are changing the reward structure around all this stuff. They're adding what they're calling event cards and event challenges as part of those cards. There will be seals and titles for each of the events, plus a multi-event seal. So rewarding people that, contribute to all of the seasonal events and not just any one of them. So that's kind of fun, like actually adding deeper levels of rewards for engaging with these activities outside of like, the tankard and the Guardian Games medallion and physical stuff. It's like, no, there's actually, some seals and things like that, which are kind of fun to chase. Depending on what the challenges look like. I don't know. Because like Guardian, I think they're all generally about 3 weeks long. So it's not a lot of time. But we'll see in a couple of months. The next one comes around.
Well, I remember the thing they kind of said was, it sounds like And it's a super cute idea, actually, like thinking back on it, is there's going to be, the mode is going to be you're building bonfires and you have to traverse around the EAZ. Probably it'll look like a moat, probably.
They do love those glowy triangles.
Yeah. And you've got to collect the moats to contribute to the bonfire, and I think it's like you've also got to defend the bonfire. So that sounds fun, and it sounds cute. Like hanging with your homies in the summer, having a bonfire.
Yeah, and they listed out. So with the event cards, there's like reward structures, rewards that you can get from upgrading the card, which it sounds like is only done through silver. Which I don't know if I'm that excited about. It'd be nice if, but they do that with some of the armor stuff in their verse store. The first time it comes around for an event, it's usually silver or bright dust only, or silver only, and then later it's bright dust. It is what it is. You know, it's a free to play game and a live service game, and that is honestly how they make a lot of their money, is through cosmetics. But the only one of the rewards from the event card that I thought to take note of was the one at the top of the list. It's an exotic emote called Hot Dog Eating Champ, aka the Glizzy Guzzler. I cannot wait.
To guzzle some glizzies.
If I have to pay with my own money to upgrade my event card to get an emote that is my Titan guzzling hot dogs, I'm doing it. I'm calling that shot now. I'm getting that emote.
I was thinking, and they probably can't do it because of like alcohol laws and stuff. But man, like, you're building bonfires. There needs to be like a beers with the boys emote.
Yeah.
Or like, when I think of bonfires, I think of like just a shotgunning a beer emote.
Yeah, I was going to say someone like biting into the side of a can.
Crushing a Pabst. Or like a beer bong emote or a keg stand.
Yeah. Have you ever
they probably can't because of alcohol laws.
Have you ever seen someone bulldog a can of beer? That shit is frightening. If you haven't seen it, you essentially take a can of beer, shake the shit out of it, and then bite into the side of the can so that it bursts. You don't actually get that much of the beer inside you. It just
looks insane.
Yeah, it's fucking crazy.
Like, fuck it. Let's just go.
Yeah.
Solstice. Let's just go frat bro.
Oh. Yeah, I'd kind of be into that for like 3 weeks. Then put that shit away. What else was in there about events? That was all the basic stuff. There was some detail in there, like I said, about the new Solstice event. I'm kind of just keen to wait and see in a couple months. We got a new season dropping next week, so I'm gonna be busy, I think.
Yeah.
Real good time to have quit my job. I tell you what, I'm gonna have 2 weeks off and a new season to play with.
Hell yeah. They still haven't spoken about it, which is interesting.
Yes,
I'm not gonna freak out and jump to conclusions like Twitter, but like that's really interesting.
Yeah, like
it's fun.
There's been a bunch of people being like expecting a season trailer based on previous trailers and when they've dropped ahead of a season, and Bungie have just kept saying, actually, no. We're going to drop one maybe like an hour before the season launches, which for us will be like 2 a.m., so I don't think I'll be watching that when it launches. I always find it very interesting when Bungie chooses to say nothing about something that's coming up. It usually means they know they've got something pretty compelling on their hands and they want to preserve as much of the like impact of the reveal and not have people like going frame by frame through a trailer and going, oh look, I found this. Because we also have a new dungeon releasing on Friday. So for us that'll be Saturday morning.
Which is not bad for us. We can sit there just all Saturday, daytime Discord and veg out.
Yes. So with that, though, we've got a couple of legendary reprised weapons. And I know that people who are old Destiny heads, like they'll look at that and be trying to work out what those reprised weapons are. Probably some D1 pulls, but yeah, it's good not to kind of have that stuff ruined ahead of time to a certain extent.
Yeah, as someone who really likes going into stuff blind, like as you know, leading up to Throne Queen. Witch Queen.
Witch World.
Witch World.
Kevin Costner's Witch World.
It sounds like some weird direct-to-DVD fucking
Witch
Disney
World
movie.
Sounds like the shittiest theme park.
Like, oh god. It had The Rock in it, but now all I can think of is that movie being called Those Kids Went Up to Witch Mountain.
Space Mountain?
No, there's like something about Return to Witch Mountain or something, but now like Those Kids Went to Witch Mountain.
Which mountain? That mountain.
I watched the trailers, but I stayed away from like all the community kind of chatter and the, you know, as much as we love Lore Daddy, but like the Bife videos and stuff like that, I stayed away from that.
Yeah.
But it's for me, it's really exciting to go into these kinds of things blind. So not even having a trailer is going to be fun for me. Like, even if the trailer drops, I'm probably just going to go straight into the season. I don't think I'll watch the trailer. I think I'm just going to go straight into the season.
Half the time those trailers end up being the cinematic they show you when you launch it for the first time.
Yeah, so I'm just going to go in blind.
Yeah.
And just hope that my theory that this season is Umaru trying to get Savathun's remains back is true.
Yeah. I do. So yeah, I did a similar thing with Witch Queen before it came out. Like, I was not looking at anything that wasn't coming out of Bungie, because I think there's an interesting angle there where you're only looking at what they're choosing to show you, and like what pieces of the narrative or the background, the context, what are they choosing to show you now before you have access to the content? And then, was that deceptive based on the fact that it's Savathun? Were they like weaving stuff in there that maybe was, because of how they sequenced it, not quite how it ended up being in the game? Was that intentional? Like, that stuff to me is pretty interesting.
I think I won't go. We've already spoken about Savathun lore, so it's not like it's spoilers, because if anyone's listened to another episode, they know this by now. The kind of switcheroo they did on Savathun and being like, no, actually, she was the puppet, not the puppeteer.
Yeah,
was big, and I didn't really see that coming.
No.
Because like we've always known the Witness was like a loon, not even like, we knew there was something above Savathun.
Yeah, well, I mean, towards the end of Season of the Lost, she was saying as much herself.
Yeah. So for them to be like, actually, no, Savathun is the puppet, not the puppeteer, it was just like, oh shit. And then all the reveals of like, the half the lore that we know isn't true. With like having to go to the deep and the worm and having that happen. That was great. But I also saw online that a lot of people were disappointed with Witch Queen based on community assumptions that were built from people pulling apart the trailers and guessing wrong.
Yeah, so people have led themselves down a path.
Yeah.
And now they're mad that didn't come true. It's like, you made this up.
Yeah, and it was like it was almost like a rumor, like it was kind of insidious in the fact that like someone would be like, oh, I saw this thing and I've interpreted it as this, and then someone will tweet that and retweet that, or someone will bring it up in their video and be like, I saw this theory and here's why I think it might be correct, because of like that confirmation bias almost.
Yeah.
And it spread throughout the community. So when the actual proper lore came out, a lot of people were like, and it was like, well, you made those assumptions based off.
Don't get mad at them for not doing the thing you made up.
Hypotheticals and theory crafting that you saw online, like, which is one thing I try to avoid. Like, I'm the same with you, where I'm like, I only look at what Bungie wants us to look at, and it makes it all the more fun because we ended up being tricked.
Yeah,
because of the trailers were alluding to something else, and then they did the hard turn halfway through her lore quest line, and you're like, whoa, wait, what? No.
Yeah.
That's not what the trailer told me.
Yeah, exactly. And that's kind of like...
all last season's information told me even.
And that's like, talking about people like Bife that make video content about Destiny lore. There's this
he makes it very clear at the beginning that this is him theory crafting too.
And that's kind of the line for me. Like if it's looking at, say, historical Destiny lore, stuff that is generally accepted, by everyone that has seen it, read it, played it, whatever. Like that stuff to me is just like, it's educational, it's informative. The line for me where I start to turn off is where there's, speculation being applied, because the content they're talking about, the law they're talking about is more current. It's more being worked out. It's more what's happening right now. It's like, I don't want you to like put these ideas in my head or put these ideas out there and have all these people get misled and go too hard into this thing that is just something you've made up. Like, just let it play out. And even though, he does a good job of disclaiming it and saying like, I'm just theory crafting, here's how I got there. It's so easy for people to just ignore that and go, yeah, but Bife said this, or fucking any one of them said this. Why didn't that happen? So, well, he doesn't work there. He doesn't have influence over this. This is just him interpreting lore and story. And
I think
he's going to get it wrong sometimes,
Yeah. I think part of the trap is too with theory crafting is, there's like that confirmation kind of bias going on, where some people's brains go, that makes sense to me, therefore it is the truth.
Yeah.
Like, in my head, that makes sense, therefore it must be the absolute truth.
Yeah.
So some people, despite that disclaimer, and this isn't us shitting on Bife. He does great work, by the way. This is just talking about
he's
how
the most like
theory
visible,
crafting kind of becomes Bible in the community sometimes.
He's just like the most visible example of this kind of pattern.
Yeah. And like he's great at what he does, great at like making sure that his community and his team are looked after, and the community are aware that he is just taking what he knows of the law, which is quite a lot.
Yep.
And very deeply and very in detail. Like, I've seen that man, someone ask him a question on stream and him just pull the law.
Yeah.
But like, some people, and it's how conspiracy theories happen, some people look at information and go, this makes sense in my head, therefore it's the absolute truth. So sometimes they see these theory crafting conversations happening after a trailer and go, well, that must be what's happening, because it makes sense.
Yeah.
But now we can't even trust Hive law.
No. I mean, we couldn't before. Like, the Book of Sorrow was always, don't trust this. Or no, it's Truth to Power. One of them, like, but it was always accepted, like, you cannot trust the words in here as literally.
But it's even more like,
Yeah.
And it's like anything to do with the Hive, anything to do with, realistically, anything to do with anything at the moment is up in the air, because, like, if Savathun's been fucking with that many aspects of the history...
But also, like what has the witness been doing with the nature of truth? Yes.
The light in the dark. Like,
yes. But I end up feeling like a bit of a fence sitter, because I'll have that moment where I'm like, what you've just explained, that makes sense. I see how you made this conclusion. And then I'm always like, but I'm going to wait and see.
Yeah.
Like, I can see how you got there. Great. That's interesting. Whatever. I'm still just going to wait for the game to show me more that either confirms or denies what you're coming up with,
Yeah. And I'm one of those people, we've talked about it before, if I'm super passionate about a piece of content or a piece of media, I go media blackout.
Oh, yeah.
So, like, the moment the new Doctor Strange film dropped, I muted I muted every hashtag. I muted the Marvel hashtag. I muted every hashtag that had anything to do with it. I muted the term Doctor Strange.
Right.
Like, I was full media blackout. And like the weeks leading up, I think I showed you the weeks leading up to I want to call it Savathun World. Witch Queen. I haven't slept. I blacked out every single hashtag and term to do with Witch Queen. And muted most of the big creators so that I could go into it with just the trailers under my belt.
Yeah.
And then the Savathun Twitter take over.
Yeah. Like, there's always an argument you can make either way for, like, are spoilers actually good or bad? Like, does it make any difference in the long run? Like,
I think it's personal.
Yeah, and like, if a story is crafted and told well, that impact will be the same or similar, regardless of if you go into it knowing what the turn is. But yeah, it becomes a personal thing of like, and we have this in our friend group, if someone says like, hey, I don't want to know anything about this upcoming release, can you keep that to DMs for the meantime, or spoiler tag it so that people don't just see it without wanting to? And then it just becomes a respect thing of like, yeah, okay, fair enough. And
we have,
you know, you've put systems in place to like avoid known sources of information that you won't want to see yet.
Yeah, and we, in our server at least, we have an entire channel dedicated to spoilers, and everything that goes into that gets spoiled, like spoiler warning, which is a really effective way in like a community-based server to kind of protect yourself too.
Yeah.
Even theory crafting goes in there.
Yeah. And then if there's any, like, the only rule I generally have is if it's a leak, if it's one of those like fucking paste bin dumps or whatever, get that shit away from me. Like no one is supposed to see that. Also, half the time it's just made up and it's not actually real. I don't think I've seen anyone go like, hey, all of the stuff that was in this leak turns out it was legitimate. It's like, yeah, maybe there's one idea in there that someone got right by chance, but they're usually just a bunch of bullshit. Yeah, and it just sends people off in these wild directions, and it's no good.
It's people farming fucking engagement or just putting shit into the community for shits and giggles.
And that's the thing, like, if you don't give that stuff oxygen, if you don't let it spread and let people get worked up over it, people stop kind of giving a shit about these like leaks, legitimate or not. Whether or not there is a problem with things leaking out of Bungie, I don't know that there is. But every company of a certain size will have disgruntled employees that will do things like that, you know?
I think it was D1, like a big expansion was coming out, and a absolute shitlord was sacked from his job, so he just decided to like jump on a forum and be like, here's all the details for, I don't know if it was Taken King, but one of the big expansions got a whole bunch of shit leaked. And it was just because a dude got leaked, he got fired for being an absolute piece of shit. And then after he leaked everything, I think someone from Bungie came out and went, hey, by the way, the guy who leaked everything, he got fired for X, Y, and Z, so fuck that guy. Stop supporting him. So.
Yes. Fuck that guy.
I think it was Bungie. I think it was back when they were Blizz Active related.
Right, yeah. I think like the other side of that coin for me is we see nowadays more and more Bungie employees like on Twitter talking about things they're excited about with the projects they're working on. And like these are people down to the level of like animation engineers and like level designers and narrative designers, and they're just like, hey, yeah, this upcoming season fucking whips. I can't wait for you to see it. And like it feels disrespectful to their work and excitement to go and like try and get ahead of it.
I mean, I've even seen QAs for Bungie be like, bro, from what I've seen, you guys are in for a fucking ride. And I'm like,
and to me, like, if they're saying that, I want to preserve that reveal as much as I can.
Yeah.
To get this impact that they're kind of alluding to.
Yeah, and the writers and the narrators work so hard on this lore. It's so detailed, it's so varied and deep that, it just feels real rude to just be like, here is this big thing that they've been building towards.
Yeah.
Get fucked.
Yeah. Yes. Anyway, that is a big old tangent. We went from glizzy guzzling to spoiler territory.
As to say, we're happy that they're not dropping a trailer in advance, and they're just going to let us. They're just going to let us sit on it.
Yeah, I mean, it's a few days away. We don't really have to wait that long.
Yeah,
and we got things to do in the meantime. There was one other bit that was in the TWAB, which it got me for a second. So there was like a little bit of patch notey kind of stuff. The topic of Scorn crossbows came up. I don't know if you've run high-level strikes with Scorn in them. Those motherfuckers will kill you very quickly.
Oh, fuck, they suck.
Yeah. So the first patch note concerning them said they've increased the damage by 300% so that they are always a guaranteed one-hit kill no matter how good you are. Then the next bullet point was, don't worry, it's just a joke. They're actually reducing it so that it's more in line with other sniper weapons, so that it feels a bit more balanced with the enemy weapon archetype that it is.
It's fair.
But fuck, that's funny that they put that in there.
Have you noticed, just on a quick side note, just with them pranking us, have you noticed that occasionally in the tab a letter will be highlighted?
Yeah, and it goes to like a
And you
picture of a
click
kitten.
a weird picture or like a llama or something?
Yeah, I think
I
that
love
is
that.
primarily in the twabs written by one of the newer one of the newest managers. It'll be like the letter H is a hyperlink because it's yellow, and you click on it, and it's usually a picture of very small animals. I'm waiting for one day because I know she's a bit of a Mass Effect stan. I'm waiting for one day. It's like a picture of sexy Garrus or something. That would be pretty good. Yes, I mentioned it before. New dungeon launches in the first week. 1550 normal difficulty, power level. Master will be available day one, but they're not saying anything about the entry requirements for that yet. I'm guessing given that now Master is 1580, it'll be a 1590 because we've got the plus 10 power bump for a new season. But there'll probably be other modifiers on top of that, not just power level. We've got another full armor set with artifice versions for Master. So that was something they introduced with Grasp, where the armor that drops from the Master version has an extra combat mod slot, I think it is. So you're charged with like your elemental well stuff. War Mines is the other one. 4 new legendary weapons, as well as the 2 legendary reprised weapons I mentioned earlier. So 6 legendary weapons. A new exotic weapon plus a catalyst. That's all we know.
Yeah.
We know nothing about the nature of the dungeon either, which is pretty rad. There said to be a ship or a sparrow. It's weird. I feel like you would know which one it is by now. Why are you hedging your bets on that? I don't know. And 2 emblems, and I'm guessing that's going to be similar to other dungeons where it's 1 emblem for finishing it, and then 1 for like doing a solo flawless run, which I still haven't done for Grasp, and I still reckon I could. But that's pretty cool. Whole bunch of stuff. New dungeon. Yeah, there wasn't much else about the dungeon in there, but I think me and a couple of guys on the day it releases are going to do the same thing we did with Grasp, which is probably end up running it about 6 times. The first run will probably take a couple of hours as we're like puzzling everything out. And then it's
just you guys swapping in and out to Sherpa everyone else through.
Exactly. Getting those carry stats up. So yeah, that'll be fun. The other thing out of the TWAB was a bit of a Trials armor preview. Did you look at these things?
No,
the armor sets are crazy. The hunters have a monkey face.
Oh, monkey!
Yeah. So there's been a bunch of
there's a hunter main in our clan who joins in monkey memes with me, so he'll be very happy about that.
Yeah, there's been a bunch of ape together strong memes kicking around, but this time it's hunters for some reason.
No, it's got
a tail.
Yeah, but other than all the Egyptian kind of iconography on it, it has like the shoulder pads and the helmet and the tail. I want to see the back of them, but it has Meckii Journey to the West energy. Have you ever seen Monkey Magic?
No. What?
Okay. Quick tangent. It's one of my favorite shows ever. Meckii Journey to the West is an old, it's called Monkey Magic in English, but traditionally it's called Meckii Journey to the West. It is a Chinese folklore that has been turned into like a kung fu TV series, like kind of in the vein of like kung fu Shaolin style movies and TV shows in the 60s, 70s, and 80s. When,
right.
Japanese, Chinese, and Korean kind of TV took off.
It's not animated, right? Like it's live action?
No, it's live action. It's for the fact it was made in the 70s, it actually, like, it aged really well because they went mostly, like, prosthetics.
Weird.
But it wasn't, like, old style horror movie latex prosthetics. It was mostly makeup. So it just appearance-wise, it's aged really well. But it's based off an old Chinese folklore. And then the gorillas, well, Damon Albarn and Jamie Hewlett then did a opera based on it, which was fantastic.
Of course they did.
a Chinese opera.
Yeah.
But yeah, the old TV show was called Monkey Magic, and it got dubbed over for the West.
Mm-hmm.
And it is just an absolutely fantastic time. I highly recommend anyone, if you haven't seen it, just vibe the fuck out, crack a beer and watch, because it's fun kung fu, it's goofy, it's self-aware.
Okay.
Like, for when it was made, it's great. But the helmet, the headband, the armor, it's very, it's just gave me. No, I'm not gonna play a hunter. Fuck that. Oh god, I love that. Yeah. God, give Warlock monkey.
Yeah, look, I'll throw a picture up at this point. Here, next to my finger.
I really wish they'd carried that. They'd done that with all three of them and had like Monkey, Tripitaka, and the like water demon Sandy. That would have been fun. But what have we got? We've got we got Monkey, and then we've got a ram.
For the Titan, I'm guessing.
The Titan is like a ram helmet because it's got the.
I haven't got it up in front of me, so
it's
please
got like
continue.
It's got the curled horns rather than like a buffalo or like.
Well, they did the like the bull armor set for like, was it the Celestial armor set? I think like Chinese Zodiac style.
But this looks like a ram, and then the Warlock, I guess pigeon. No, I think it's a hawk. Okay. It's got like a hawk beak. It's got the curved kind of bird of prey style hooked beak. And then just weird, goofy feather ears.
Cool.
So it looks like, to me, it looks like the armor has organic incorporations of the animals that it's meant to represent.
Yeah.
So like the horns look like they're made of organic matter, and then there looks like there's some like wool or fur kind of on the shoulder piece, like down the bottom. The Warlock armor has feathers all over it, and then the Monkey Hunter armor has fur plus the fur tail. So it looks like they've got like organic elements mixed in with the like the metal and stuff, which is really interesting.
Yeah.
But it looks like there's a little ghost shell that's got feathers. Oh, okay. Sorry, I geeked out over the monkey for us. I love monkeys.
There's also a new Trial Sparrow coming up. I think if you've got that in front of you, you can see that. It looks like it's got like feathers around the bottom edge of it. The symbols on it are pretty interesting to me. Like, they look similar to the Season of the Chosen kind of Cabal iconography. And if now this may be just me maybe reading too much into it. If you look particularly closely, some of those look like the chalice from Leviathan.
A little bit, yeah.
A little bit of a like hemisphere with a triangle under it.
Yeah.
So I don't know, like so you've done Vox Obscura, right? The quest for Dead Messenger. Yes. Where you load into like D1 Mars, and there's the tank, and anyway, so. There's a bunch of
speaking to Pigeon Brain.
Yeah, there's a bunch of voice lines that you get when you finish the mission, and a lot of them talk about Leviathan and Callus, and I wonder when he comes back. And then I see this sparrow, and I'm like, is he coming back now?
Bring Big Daddy is happening?
Because like when Leviathan was around, it wasn't actually him; it was a bunch of robots. And then with the Presage on the Glycon, there's a lot of talk of Callus communing with the darkness, and now there's Vox Obscura doing similar sort of gestures.
And then his daughter,
yes, Kaito,
has like joined forces with the Vanguard too.
Yeah,
which could piss him off potentially.
Yeah,
or because he's horny. He's horny for the Guardians. He's like, hell yeah, count me in.
Yeah, get in there. Ooh. Can
you got Saladin?
Can you talk to them for me? He's single.
I was gonna make a a jab at a certain esports commentator and be like, hey, I know some big people, so if you can hook me in with the Guardian, I could maybe get you a job at my organization. I'm just laughing because the sparrow looks like those toys. You know the toy where it's the bird and you can balance it on your finger?
Oh, yeah, it does.
It looks like
I was
one
looking
of
at it
those.
thinking, oh, the like beak on it looks like Celestial Nighthawk, the sparrow. Just a little.
It looks like one of those bird toys.
That's amazing.
That's the first thing I thought of when I brought it
Yeah,
up.
the one that's like got all the weight around the beak, so you can just like
you can balance
it just
on.
sits there. Yeah, yeah. I know the one. That's pretty good. Okay. That I think wraps it up for the TWAB stuff. As always, there's more in there, unless you've got something.
Yes, I just want to direct people to the Inclusion Club. And just be like, hey, if you've ever wanted a BLM Inclusion Club pin, now's the time to do it.
Yeah.
Because I'm the person who does community and charity things in this podcast.
Hey, we both do. You just do it more.
Just because of the recent, it's a tragedy.
Yeah.
Domestic terrorism. I don't fucking care who tries to word it any other way.
It's
domestic terrorism hate crime that cost the lives of, I believe it was 13 people of color. They have advised that they will be this month's BLM pin for at least the next 12 months will be directing funds towards the Southern Poverty Center.
Southern Poverty Law Center, right?
Yeah, Law Center, which includes monitoring of hate groups and other extremists throughout the United States and exposing their activities to the public, the media, and law enforcement.
Yeah. I once sent one of their articles to HR at a place I worked to explain to them why Pepe the Frog needs to be removed as a Slack emoji and why anyone adding it is a bad person.
Even if... Yeah, just quickly on that, even if it was never that and it was 4chan trolling, it's been co-opted.
Yeah, it now means something else.
It's been co-opted, whether it was a troll or panic media buying into it. It doesn't matter. It's been officially co-opted because shitheads saw that and said lol, 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 lol.
Yeah.
But, yeah. So that's, if you haven't already picked one up, I think now is a really good time to show your support for minorities in the Destiny community. And like we've said about the emblems, I find also in the wild, these Inclusion Club pins are a really good way of letting people around you know that you are safe. And you're an ally or part of the community, or you're at least standing up with them. So like, even if they're not a Destiny nerd, they could see the BLM pin and be like, this is a safe person. Or if they're a Destiny nerd, they know that within the Destiny community, that's you're a safe person. So, for minority groups now more than ever at the moment, it's really important that they do know that there's safety within the community and people around them. And I think Bungie are a really good way of signaling that through the free emblems, but then also through charity efforts like the pins and shirts.
I think just to clarify on that, the only time they've made the emblem free was the trans support one. Every other time, the in-game emblem comes from buying the pin associated with it. Whether or not they change that going forward, I'm not sure. But yeah, just to make sure people don't think that they're missing emblems or something. Generally, you have to buy the pin to get the emblem.
Yeah. You get an emblem in real life if you buy the pin. That's pretty sick.
Yeah. Here's a token you can funge. I hate this. Yeah.
Thought I'd add that because I saw it at the top and it reminded me that I did want to be like, hey, pins, collectibles, they're fun.
Also for a good cause.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Speaking of collectibles, I forgot to mention this fucking shirt showed up this week.
Oh, yeah. Shirt whips.
It's real nice. Nice long sleeve joint. It's classic Destiny stuff of like, it is very much a video game thing, but if you didn't know what Destiny was, you'd be like, oh, it's just some nice colors on a shirt. It's a cool design. What do you want? Get off my face. Cool.
Yeah.
Now, onto, I guess, the error code blueberry errand update section. I don't know what else to call this. We've both been busy, but in different ways when it comes to Destiny in the last week or so. I kind of trying to think what to start with. I will say, because we've talked about this for most of this season, this week I finally gilded my dredgen for the 4th time. So now I've got the nice little number 4 in gold, and then in like 3 days it gets reset again, and I have to do the whole dance all over again. But Guardian Games has actually been really good for getting that done, because the contender cards have like made me go back and play more Gambit. And then this week in particular, the final week, double Gambit rank, double Vanguard rank, double Crucible rank. So I've just like powered through that. So it's yay me. I got it done again right at the end of the season, like a fucking idiot. I could have had it ages ago, but I just didn't.
I mean, through helping you do that, I've reset my Gambit rank a few times.
Yeah, well, that was the other thing I was trying to get done before end of season, is the like seasonal challenge kind of thing. Out of the, I don't know how many there are available, but you have to do, I think, 64 or 60. I think it's 66. I now literally need one more. 3 of them were getting the skin for the ritual shotgun for the season, Reckless Endangerment. So that required me to do a lot of Vanguard, Crucible, and Gambit activities. Again, this week, super helpful for that, because you have to like reset your rank and then get all the way back up to Legend. So basically resetting it twice to get the ornament. So yeah, that I will get done probably this weekend, because I'm looking at either trying to play a lot of trials and get 20 round wins, or the other brute force approach is to just play a bunch of survival PvP, because that one is just complete matches. It's not about wins, although wins make it go faster. That one I know I can get done. That's like my backup is to do that one. So I'll get that done. I'll get my big old pile of bright dust, and then I don't know what I'll do with it, but I'll have it.
When cool shit comes out in the bright dust next season.
That's it. All those silly shaders and ornaments and all those sort of things. So it's looking good for the end of season cram, as I usually do. Oh shit! The other thing out of the TWAB, we're getting 100 extra vault space slots.
Oh, that's massive, actually. Yeah,
it's a 20% increase. So I know what you're going to fill it with. What have you been doing?
Blues. Just to piss you off, because every time I open my vault, you see blue in there, and you go, "No,
that's not what I'm talking about." What have you been collecting?
So in the beginning, the first couple of days, it became a meme of how many titles you drop, and I saw people complaining about it in the community.
Dude, I dropped some medals and got 4 of them.
Yeah, and a lot of people in the server and the community were like, fucking enough with the titles already. There are so many of them. Please stop.
Edge Transit all over again.
And I was just like, you know what? Actually, give them all to me. I want them all, and I will keep them and treasure them. So I have not broken down or done anything to a single title I've gotten, just out of curiosity to see how many I would drop just by casually playing. I have 67.
That's so fucking many.
So what I did, just to upset someone in our clan, I broke down everything. I broke down everything else and the stuff that I locked because I liked. I moved on to a character, and then I moved all of my exotics onto a character. So when I screenshotted my vault, it was just titles and sent that to them.
People are going to think it's photoshopped, but it isn't.
Because every single time I did a title count, and you were there for a couple of them,
yeah,
you would just hear in the background, "For fuck's sake, Meckii, please."
Delete them.
And then their attitude changed from, "Meckii, what the fuck are you doing?" to laughing at how excited I got every time I dropped a title.
Make the number go up, actually. It's very funny.
He went from please for the love of fucking God stop to oh my god, I love how excited you get when you drop a title. I think I'm the only person in the Destiny community that's excited to see titles.
Have you actually used one?
Yeah, I've got a Masterworked one. I got one that dropped a Masterworked that I actually really like.
Yeah, okay.
So I've locked that one.
Yeah.
So when I do eventually start feeding them or like getting rid of them, I'll have one or two that I actually really like, but I'm looking at my fucking vault on dim and it's
bad.
It's dark.
It's bad.
It's dark. I might create a third character just for storage space on their character so I can fit more titles.
That's another postmaster too. Yes. Except you can't put things in there yourself.
No, it's fine because I'm on dim all the time. So every time my postmaster's like, "Hey, I'm almost full," I'm like, "Collect all." Of 348 items in my vault, 67 of them are titles.
Fuck, that's like a full fifth of everything.
The other 200 are blues. No, I'm kidding. I went and broke down all my blues the other day.
Good.
Or the higher level blues I fed to lower level exotics that I wanted to keep around.
Okay, we need like a fucking Marie Kondo for your Destiny habits.
No, they all bring me joy. Every single title brings me joy.
Fuck.
It's like, it's probably TMI for the pod, but I made a joke with a friend the other day where it looks like my undie drawer. Because there is a specific cut and brand of underwear that I really enjoy wearing.
So you just bought a lot of it?
I've just gone and bought a shitload of them in different colors.
Yeah.
So when you open my drawer, it's just like someone has hit the copy paste tool on like my
yeah,
my
I can respect that. You know, like you get to a certain point, you find what you like, and then if you're like me, you get worried that they're going to stop making it, so you buy a bunch of it.
Yeah. You wait till they go on sale and then just.
I'll take the lot.
So an ex who's now a friend of mine, because he plays Destiny, I sent him a screenshot and he was like, "It's worse than your undie drawer." Like, someone in the clan, when I was talking about what I was doing, said, "You're not pigeon brained, you're rat brained." And now, Rat Girl and Rat
hide them in the wall.
My little grabby hands. Rat Brain and Rat Girl has now stuck in the group, so it's not pigeon anymore, it's rat.
Little goblin Rat Girl hides all the guns in the walls.
Imagine that, coming into my cave, answering riddles, me little goblin, and then you open the chest and it's just titles.
Yeah, pick one.
It's just
you can only have one though.
67 of the same useless thing in the treasure chest, and you've just spent 20 minutes dealing with my goblin-y little gremlin ass.
I was really go in there and say, "Hey, cool, I got all these Iron Banner tokens that I'm not doing anything with. Do you want one?" Worthless.
Don't look at my inventory.
I mean, I'm still holding on to the used toothbrush that we got from like a Festival of the Lost because the flavor text says this might still have some use. And I wouldn't put it past Bungie to be like, "Here's what you do with that toothbrush."
I have cookies and shit.
You're supposed to give those to people. Hang on, I need to fucking inspect my own vault now.
I have a Qualicore. I don't even know what a Qualicore is.
That's part of our Throne World quest, yeah.
I got Here Always pieces, got 510 of those.
Oh, those are like European currency.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
I have 500 ghost fragments. Spider doesn't even exist anymore, so I can't give them to him.
Oh shit, at some point I dropped a Nightfall memento.
Oh hell yeah. Yeah, I still have this. I still have the sock.
The sock?
The sock engram.
Oh, right. Yes, so do I. Containing a single sensible sock.
Yeah, tickets and stuff from other events.
Yeah, I found the used toothbrush, the literal last sentence, "Perhaps it can be used later."
Yeah.
They might. I don't know.
Just over here putting things in my little rat nest.
Yes. We all are to a certain extent. I, for example, can now and probably will order that stupid Guardian Games medallion.
Hell yeah.
I've done enough of the medals in the game to order a real one that has the spinny bit.
Do what I'm going to do with mine, which is go get it professionally mounted in a shadow box with a plaque, just so people walk into the house and see what looks like an Olympic medal with a whole plaque.
Yeah, but you've got to put something like shit posty on the plaque, like Meckii collected X the title SMG during Guardian Games 2022.
Or just plays a bunch of Destiny. Meckii for playing a bunch of Destiny.
Or no, it's got to be like some kind of superlative statement, you know, like in the high school yearbook, like most the titles.
Resident rat human.
Most rat girl. Grabbiest hands.
Just Meckii, the grossest. That's it.
New handle coming up. Change your in-game name to that.
Hell of the gross.
Ooh.
Hell of the yucky.
Meckii of House Gross.
Well, I say yucky a lot, so.
You do, it'll be House Yucky.
House of the Yucky.
No, House of Yuck. It gets worse the more you think about it. Is there anything else? I think that's it for this week.
Yeah.
Right.
It's been a quiet week, but I mean, we were we were kind of hoping that the TWAB would come out and we'd have something like a trailer 3.0, anything about the next season.
Yeah, actually, they haven't said which 3.0 subclass we're getting.
Yeah, so are we just going to load into the game and there's going to be like a, whoops, it's Arc. Whoops, basically, it's Solar.
Yeah. I mean, same way we did with Void. It was like one of those pop-ups when you launch a game. It was like, go get Void now. Yeah. Go talk to Ikora and she'll give you the purple.
Yeah.
That sucks.
Give you the perp.
Yeah, give me that perp Ikora Ray. But yeah, it's just going to be a whole bunch of stuff on Reset all at once, all new stuff. Next season on Destiny 2.
Yeah.
And that's like, we literally don't know anything else, so we have to just wait and see.
Yeah. Which is like, I wanted something to scream about this episode, but I'm actually really excited.
I think we found plenty.
But without the trailer and going into it blind, next episode we're probably going to be like, bah! Like we were for Savathûn Throne World Queen Witch. I've called it everything but its actual name because I'm running on 2 hours of sleep and an Americano.
Yeah. I mean, I'm operating with what is now like the hangover's basically worn off. So after this, I'm going to go and get a bacon and egg roll. Basically, bacon, egg, and cheese. It's around the corner. They do it in a little brioche bun. It's fucking great after you've been drinking the night before.
Oh, you got brioche out there?
Yeah.
You got brioche?
Could get myself a little bagusi if I wanted.
Sweet bread?
Anyway, I need to go eat.
Go get yourself that.
No,
brioche.
Yeah, brioche. The bacon, egg, and juicy. Yeah, I'm gonna go eat and then I'm gonna come back and try to earn a bunch of more Guardian Game
titles.
Stuff. Yeah, no, that's for you. I'm gonna try the triumph for Guardian Games, it gets you first the tankard, then the medallion. It has a final step, which is getting you the emblem in game for doing 6 platinum chests across the course of the event. So I need to run that strike, the competitive playlist, competitive Guardian Games playlist, and just dunk a ton of medals to get those 2 done. Then I get an emblem in the game.
Yeah.
And I don't have to pay for that, except with my time. That's the Destiny way.
Except with the only resource humans truly have, time.
Anyway, on that existential note, that's going to do it for us here this week on Erico Blueberry. Please hit all the buttons. I don't think is there still a dislike button? If there is, don't push it. Push all the good ones. Push our buttons next week.
Slap that subscribe button.
Push the buttons on your keyboard. leave us a comment. Tell us how many titles you have, how many you want. Is it the sex number? Is it the weed number? That would be way more impressive, actually.
It's just a shame I realized I wanted to start collecting titles halfway through the event, because otherwise from day one I would have just...
You could have got to like 200. Yeah. Anyway, we'll do a final recap on where we end up with Guardian Game stuff next week, before screaming about the new season. So we'll catch you next time. Bye.
See you later.